So, in the previous part, we took a careful look at how elimination works in simultaneous equations. How, where one variable matches exactly, that when we do a subtraction, it disappears. And then we're left with one variable in one equation which we can solve. So now we're going to go through the process of finding the second variable's answer. So in this case, in both cases it will be b, even though we've eliminated it. So, if we know a is 1, how can we find b? Some of you might already have an idea. Let me give you a hint with an arrow. So look at equation 1. Well, if I substitute a equals 1 in equation 1, what happens? Now, some of you already did this. You put 1 into here to try and work out b. But this is how you say it properly. Substitute this in here into equation 1. Well, equation 1 goes from being this to being this. And then we can find that b is 3. Now let's take the same approach down here on example 2. Let's substitute a equals 2 in equation 1. So the equation was this. And now that a equals 2, this becomes 4. Okay. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Then I'm going to divide by 3. So you're using your skills for solving equations. Go back and do that video again if you need to. Now I've found b. So it could be that you substitute in and it's very straightforward, or you could substitute in and it takes a little bit longer. Now, let's just check that we've done things the right way and what would happen if. What if we had substituted a equals 1 in equation 2 instead? Would that have made any difference? Well, so our equation was this. We'd put 1 in here, so we'd get 4. So we'd work out b is 3. So it makes no difference. So what we've now managed to do, we know how to set up a pair of simultaneous equations, and we know that if one of the variables matches, we can do a subtract, get the first variable, and now we can use that first variable to find the second variable. Now we're not done at all here, but we're getting closer. Before though we move on, we need to do one thing. In your exam, a question like this could be worth 3 or 4 marks. And this is a fantastic topic because you can be sure your answer is correct. So you can turn the page over knowing you've got those marks. Well, how do you do that? You check. And remember what we said in part 1, maths is about accuracy and detail. So let's do the check. Now, I've used equation 1 up here to find b. So I'm going to use equation 2 for my check, which is the other one. So here is equation 2. I'm now going to substitute a and b into this and see what happens. So a is 1, so it's 4 times 1. And b is 3, so it's plus 3. So let me just check, that's 4, add 3, and it's supposed to make 7, which it does. So when I substitute the two values in, I get the answer I had to get. So that is correct. So my question is definitely done right. 3 or 4 marks in the bag, smashed it. Now some people don't check. Lazy, risky. We're going to check the second one here because we want to guarantee our marks. So we substitute it into 1, so we check in the other equation. And you write down you're doing that so that people can see. So here is equation 2. Okay, so a was 2, so that's 4 times 2. B is 3, so that's 3 times 3. And it's supposed to be 17. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 times 3, which is 9, and it works. More marks in the bag. Will it always work? Well, let's imagine we'd done something wrong and got A was 2 and B was 5. So we'd have checked in equation 2. We'd have written equation 2 out. We'd have substituted the numbers in. And we'd have got 8 plus 15 equals 17, which is not true. So the equation is a fail. So what we've done here in part 3, we have found the second variable by substituting into one of the equations. Now we often pick the one with the smaller numbers to make it easier. We've then found the second variable. In order to be sure we've got the marks, we then check in the other equation. If the check works, we know we are successful. So at the moment, we can now do the elimination method when one of our variables matches. We can now find the first variable, find the second variable by substituting, and then check the pair of them are correct. What would happen here then? Neither variable matches, and so we're going to find this difficult. Well, part 4 will start with this example.